Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Rick. And videos today on the Financial Coffee Channel. From OnlyFans to homeless, women are going broke on OnlyFans and regretting it. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. That's good at Chow Time.
I think I saw a tweet or something that said the only thing more embarrassing than finding out your kid made an OF was finding out that they failed making an OF. Oof. And I live by that.
I did OF and I regret it badly, but I wish I had thought about it much harder than I did because I regret it and I wish I didn't do that. It was a weird part of my life.
Here's why starting an OnlyFans was the worst decision I made in my life. I did not realize that I was literally selling parts of my soul and the money could have never made it worth it.
How did you not realize that? Most people told you that. If you actually ask a good amount of people that's in the industry, they'll let you know.
I just wish that someone would have warned me and told me that I was going to be later experiencing PTSD from the trauma and the experiences that I was subjecting myself to on a daily basis. I did not know that I would later need to be in trauma counseling. It brought me into way darker places than I ever could have imagined, and I never want to go back there. I wish I could go back in time to who I was before I started doing all that stuff and just tell myself that the money is not worth it. Keep your happiness. And that's all I want to tell any girl who's thinking about starting an account. I just hope I can save even just one girl from going through the pain and the trauma that I am now going.
Can you now? We understand how you feel, girl, but how do you think we feel when we tell girls around us that we care for the exact same thing? We're just seen as misogynistic. We're seen as trying to control them. We're seen as bad people. But when you say it, you're coming from a different, genuine spot. No, we're all genuine about telling women you probably shouldn't be doing this.
Going through because I subjected myself to that for the last couple years.
OnlyFans will ruin your life just as badly as corn will, and for less money. Likely. What people don't understand about OnlyFans is it's a lot of work. I made another video on.
I hear this a lot, and it's not as much as a regular content creator or a regular job that is very taxing. I understand it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work to women. If men can, trust me guys, if I can be as hot as a woman and pull the same audience as women, and I made an OnlyFans, oh my God, my OnlyFans would be a top tier 1% OnlyFans for sure. Just because of my sheer work ethic. I would be on those videos. But women, it's not the same for them.
On this and let the women that do OnlyFans speak for themselves in the comments. So no, don't do OF. At least with corn, you get a guaranteed check as long as your agent doesn't take it. OF, you're putting your nudes on the internet for the rest of forever in the hopes of possibly one day making $1,000. It's not a better option. Both things will ruin your life. Neither of them pay enough.
Guys, they love playing the victim. Women are shape shifters.
This makes me so sad and so angry at OnlyFans. OnlyFans is so gross because it literally weaseled its way into these feminist spaces and convinced women that it is somehow empowering for them to sell their body online with false promises they're gonna make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right. And that's not the reality of it. It's basically a work pyramid scheme. In what other business, when the market is so flooded, would you continue to try to recruit young women? And don't get me wrong, I have no problem with work, but it is not supposed to be this common, especially not amongst young women. And I hate to say this, but this is the opposite of feminism. This is quite literally the objectification of women. You can have us at a price. What? And I don't know why I feel like I'm so early on this train, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it.
Shut up. Early on this train. Men have been on this train forever. We've been telling you guys this whole time.
Which is, again, why I'm so proud of this girl for posting about it.
But I hate to say it, but this is the opposite of feminism. Ah, shut up, shut up. What does OnlyFans have to do with feminism? And of course, she has the classic and fluffy eyelashes. Okay, first of all, you are not so early on the trend, and you are not ahead of the game. Many people have said it way before you. Secondly, why are you mad at OnlyFans, but not at the women that have an OnlyFans account? She makes it sound as if somebody forced them to have an OnlyFans account. She even said that women were convinced that selling their body online was empowering. Guys, they love playing the victim. It's never their fault. It's always someone else's fault. Oh, I was young and dumb. Oh, I was naive. Oh, shut up. So, ladies, tell me something, okay? What happened to women mature faster than men? Give me a freaking break.
My mental health since I've started this has just slowly been on such a decline. I feel a little bit dead inside. I feel completely desensitized. Not to sound funny, but I really don't feel any type of desire or attraction to.
The other side of these OnlyFans and so many women getting to OnlyFans, they see the most degenerate, the most depraved, the most unsavory men out of all of the population of men. And they see them at a very high degree. So it's so easy for these women to blanket statement that all men are this bad, all men are evil, all men are greedy, and all men are like this, because they literally only deal with those type of men. The ones that only care about sex, the simps, the degenerate ones that are really doing degenerate things, and they really think most men are like that. It's sad that it perpetuates their mindset even more when they join this industry, sex industry and all this, because it perpetuates that type of men to them. It presents those men to them even more.
To men in general anymore. Just know that if you are a person who's ever been interested in doing this, there really are so many downsides. At this point, and I'm willing to admit this now, there's no amount of money that you can give me right now to make me feel giving myself away in certain aspects, even if they're just a few photos or whatever online. It almost isn't worth it anymore. And while I did have such a strong start and it was so much fun in the beginning, after getting burnt out, I started to just feel really differently about the types of messages that I was getting. Seriously, if I had any type of ability to share the things that people have said, just how disgusting they are. And also, when I get curious and nosy sometimes, I'll go look at their profile and they have a whole girlfriend or a whole wife. And sometimes, even disgustingly enough, they have kids. It makes me feel so conflicted with doing this when
to me right there is so fucking hypocritical. You don't think women cheat with their kids? So she puts this all on men, and the men are just so evil and depraved. Women do the exact same shit. Women cheat to the same degree as men, and even if they're married. And so most of them do have kids too. So what the fuck?
really sit down to think about what the purpose of all this is, it's really just to visually please a bunch of men. I've been sort of exploring the idea of maybe just having my content be focused on, you know, things that I'm actually interested in, which ultimately is not pleasing men in any way, shape, or form. Like, y'all can keep your money at this point.
She said that she wants to stop making content that will please a bunch of men. I've got news for her. Content that pleases men is what put money into her pocket. And then she had the nerve to tell men to keep their money. Okay, why don't she repay the money that she made from OnlyFans? Will those creepy men get the refund on their money? I mean, what did she expect anyway? Women love plausible deniability. Maybe she really believed that men will sing her praises all day long. Remember how a few years ago, women were in love with OnlyFans because they were so happy and very proud to take control over their body.
Yep.
They were making so much money, especially nurses and teachers. They were quitting their jobs left and right just to have an OnlyFans account. It was so empowering, remember guys?
I wanted to come on here and kind of talk to you guys about why I stopped doing OnlyFans. It's been a hard balance of trying to be empowered as a woman.
But now, they are regretting it.
OnlyFans is so gross. This is quite literally the objectification of women. You can have us at a price.
She called it gross. She even had the nerve to call it the objectification of women. But you know what, guys? I agree with her on that. But who is objectifying women? They are objectifying themselves, that's for sure. And speaking of, you can have us at a price. Duh, every woman has a price. And by price, I don't mean that it's always money. A price is simply criteria and conditions that you have to meet in order to sleep with her. And they will sleep with whoever meets those requirements. It could be money, it could be gift, vacation, favors,
Status is probably the biggest thing.
attention, or just the fact that she likes you. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but what is the oldest known profession in the entire world?
We all know.
So you're thinking about making an OnlyFans. I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't, coming from someone who happily does. You're not going to make nearly as much money as like other influencers are going to tell you that you're going to, because like that's oversaturated market at this point. Maybe in 2016 this is a get rich quick kind of thing, not anymore. And once you do,
Is this why people get into these things? Because they think it's a get rich kind of thing? Is that why people do YouTube and all these like TikToks and stuff? It's not get rich quick schemes. Like you have to put in a tremendous. Yes, I guess if you go viral for Hak Tui and shit like that, then I guess I get it. But most of the time, it requires a crazy amount of work and dedication to be even somewhat profitable in content creation, OnlyFans, and everything else.
you have to realize like this is on the internet until after, like you will be dead and this shit will still be very much alive on the internet. And there's nothing you can do about that. And you have to realize that and be 1,000% okay with that. And if you aren't, you shouldn't. You shouldn't make an OnlyFans if you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just hide my face and then like, use it to get money and then just go and have like a normal career after, because that's not how it works. Your future employers can check your tax records and like they can see, and you can lie and be like, oh, I did a cooking show. Cap. Don't do it if you're like, oh, I don't want to. And I'm speaking to you. If your mental health right now, don't make an OnlyFans, because God knows you might regret this decision because it will affect the rest of your life. And just because you're feeling a little bit teensy bits manic, don't do it. Not now. Wait until things calm down, please.
I did OF and I regret it badly. I did OF for about 3 months, and a lot of young girls think, oh, it's going to be so easy to make money, but in reality, if you don't have a following, it's a grind. You have to be all over all the social media platforms at all times. You have to be on Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. You have to be talking to people on the actual app itself. Okay. So it is a full-time job in itself, and I was working at the time and I was struggling to fit it all into my day. You will do some cringy. So I signed with an agency towards the end, and they kind of took all rights of my OF, and they were making me do some cringy TikToks that just did not sit right with me. So I think like after doing that was when I was like, this is actually not who I am and not who I want to be on the internet at all. Don't always believe things that you are seeing online.
True.
It always makes me laugh when they hate the same men who are paying for the content. Women don't pay for those videos. Men do. And after those models have made enough money, they always want to demonize the men that put money into their pockets. The same men that got them rich. Now guys, do you remember the Cash Me Outside girl?
Yeah.
AKA Bad Baby? She made $57 million on OnlyFans. She also has a net worth of $50 million, 50. Now, how did she make that kind of money? Because men were paying for her content on OnlyFans. But guess what, guys? About 2 years ago, she started calling those same men dirty, creep, and dangerous. Which now brings me to the following question. Will she give back all the money she made from OnlyFans? Since those men are dirty, dangerous, and creep, I bet you she will not.
Hell no.
I wanted to come on here and kind of talk to you guys about why I stopped doing OnlyFans. I know, kind of a shocker. I am a Christian. And I know that God is a forgiving and loving God, but, for the last few months, I've known that He has told me that He doesn't want me doing this anymore. I love Him, and I believe in Him, and I believe that Jesus died on that cross, and I want to go to heaven, but how can I imagine that that's a possibility when I've caused so many people to stumble and fall into sin?
Yep. I can actually.
Now, this is not me judging anyone who does OnlyFans. Do whatever you want to do. It's your life. It's your body. I did it for a while, for over a year. And I didn't care. I didn't care what people saw of me. I didn't care what people said about me. I didn't really care about the stigma behind it because I was just in a very far place from God at the time, and I didn't have a relationship with him anymore. I was going through a divorce. I was financially, overwhelmed with debt and trying to get back on my feet, and I used it as a crutch. And I told myself that once I no longer needed the income that I would stop. And once I no longer needed the income, I did not stop. So a couple months ago, I started to feel something telling me that I didn't want to do this anymore. That I didn't feel comfortable doing this anymore. I was letting the messages pile up. I didn't want to respond to anyone. I didn't want to post content, didn't want to take photos. I didn't feel comfortable doing so. I
actually like these videos. I don't feel too sorry for the woman. Again, they made their choices. But it is a good warning for other women. These are genuine takes. These are genuinely women that have gone through some shit dealing with sex work and dealing with depraved men.
Also so focused on my fitness journey and losing weight, I felt like I was losing all of my femininity. It's been a hard balance of trying to be empowered as a woman, but also adhere and try to listen to the word of God and what he's telling me. And I feel like he's telling me that I've been causing too many people to stumble for too long. And it's time for me to start raising people up and bringing them to the light and letting them know that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior, and that he died on that cross for your sins, and that he loves you. I'm sorry, but he loves you. And he forgives me, and he forgives you. And he's washed away your sins. And he's gonna come back one day. And everything's gonna be okay again. But just have faith that he can change anything around for the good. Just know I love you guys. You're never...
See, this is why I think faith in a religion is a good thing. It does help people turn around things. It does help people understand things differently. Yes, I understand how some people can push faith onto others. I try not to. I'm not too religious myself, other than I am somewhat of a Buddhist. But I see people, even one of my best friends, he was quite a degenerate. Throughout all of our college years, drugs, sex, alcohol, strippers, he did it all. And he did it every weekend, every day almost. He fucking enjoyed it. Got into a major accident and changed him. Now he's probably one of the most God-fearing men that I know personally. Goes to the church, I forgot what is it called. When he helps the church, but the community service. He does community service with the church. He goes there every few days. He goes every Sunday. He goes every Tuesday. He became a better person, in my opinion. As in, now he's a little bit more well-rounded. He's not doing the crazy shit that he was doing back in those days. He cares about family. He cares about others. He speaks so differently now. This is why I see religion as never usually a bad thing now. Trust me, guys, when I was younger, I thought religion was complete trash. I didn't understand. I saw how people pushed it, and I was just bull fucking shit about religion. But as I got older, learned more from others, went to churches, went to other things, I realized, oh, it's always the worst ones that are the loudest.
Never too far gone for him. I love
you. Cry me a river. Why do they always have to pretend or say that they quit because they found Jesus?
Right?
She's talking about God and about being a Christian. Wasn't she a Christian before having an OnlyFans account? And guys, do you know what I found funny? She has a septum piercing. And for those of you who don't know, this is a septum piercing. And I have a question for those feminists. Do they know that they cannot be feminist and Christian at the same time? I'm not saying that Christianity is against feminism, but in the Bible, women are supposed to be submissive to men. which is the complete opposite of what those feminists believe. Why can't she just say that she quit because the money sucked and she's ashamed of what she did? But instead, she has to hide behind God and the cover of religion.
This is true. This is also the other part where I do not like religion, is that people use it as a crutch. People use it as some kind of end all be all. I can fix everything with becoming a Christian or religious, which is also a problem. So there's two sides of this coin that I have. Like, I agree that religion does help people out of bad things, and it puts them in a much better place for a lot of people that seek religion or seek something else. But the other side of it, people make huge mistakes, OnlyFans, and they regret all these mistakes. But there's religions that say, we forgive you for all the mistakes. And those seem to be the religions that people gravitate towards after their degeneracy.
She can miss me with that, that's for sure. Guys, do you remember Black China? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, she made $240 million on OnlyFans. Let me say that one more time. Black China, an unknown person to many people, made $240 million on OnlyFans. But last year, she quit the platform and called it a dead-end side hustle. And now she's a born-again Christian. Make it make sense, people. But you know what, guys? It just goes back to what I always said. Women are shape shifters.
Yeah, religion cuts really both ways. It could be used as a crutch for good things, and it could be used as a crutch for bad things. It could be used to grow and understand the world a little bit better. It could be used to destroy the world and to force people to understand your own way. It's interesting that religion and how people view it is so different from person to person. So many more atheists nowadays than there ever were. Please extra them below. Really appreciate that. Excuse me.